Today we are going to discuss a very fundamental topic, and it's what I call the fundamental construct of life. Because let's face it, one fundamental construct of life that is totally misplaced, but which is most rampant in this part of the world in which we lived in, is that people expect things to be easy. They expect the world to be a celebration. Of course, that is the world as it should be. But let's face reality. Because if we look at it from that perspective, this is the biggest misconception that is perpetuated sometimes, and people lose reality, contextual reality, as I may call it, most of the time. And because of people expecting things to be easy and believing that they are supposed to be so, when they find difficulty, they resort to shortcuts and dependency, and expecting charity from others sometimes, which only helps to perpetuate the dependency in which sometimes we find ourselves. Don't get me wrong. We find this script played out in households. We find this script played out in communities across the entire contextual space in which we are in. But truth be told, nothing could be further from the truth. Consider a baby learning to walk and put yourself in a baby's world. When learning to walk, that is a difficult, painful, and risky task they undertake. They fall so often. They fall at times. They even injure themselves. They even bleed and they cry. But they don't stop. They push through. And that is how all of us adults learn to walk and even learn to run. You can imagine a baby who stopped trying at the shock of the first fall just because they thought people just automatically walk with no pain. They will simply stagnate and never achieve anything within the God-given potential that is in them. These are realities and these are lessons in which we must be able to learn today. My point is simple. There is nothing called ease. The world is not as it should be. But the world as it is means that the same applies to life. The example of the walking steps of a baby that I've just described. We must therefore stop expecting things to be easy, because that is not how things are meant or were meant to be. Where you see some ease, it is because someone else is suffering somewhere to make things more bearable for you. And as they do so, they're becoming better and growing. So when your turn comes and you face challenges, always remember that life was never meant to be easy and to be just a celebration where we sit on our high horses and complain and blame others for things in which we could have recalibrated and find a solution. But you must always remember that challenges are inevitable and will come. But they represent an opportunity. Every challenge represents a disguised opportunity to devise an alternative solution that will circumvent these challenges, that will surmount them, that will catapult you to a higher level of solutions providers. Examples are all over the entire world and we see them. We see even the example in the scriptures where Apostle Paul, who was beaten, who was in prison, but in all this he never gave up. He looked at the wonderful letters he wrote and sent out. When you look at these wonderful letters today that he put together, you will know what I am talking about. He surmounted the challenges and was focused on his mission. So when challenges come your way, when you see adversity, know that challenges are inevitable, because the world in which we lived in, it's not a perfect world. It's not an easy world. It was never meant to be an easy world. It is not a celebration. But if you faint before them, especially before the challenges and the adversity in which we are confronted with each and every day, then no progress can be made. So my advice to you, see challenges as disguised opportunity and know that ease is the biggest threat to progress. Comfort is the biggest threat to progress. Sitting and complaining is the biggest threat to progress.